Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to the Sports Talk Network channel, and welcome here to the Monday Night Review here for July 23rd, 2018 edition of Monday Night Raw. Pretty epic show. I would say epic at least for the start and finish of the show. The middle of the show was okay. And it seems like it's been a theme for Monday Night Raw, at least to me, from watching these shows. And the last two reviews I've done were over on my Facebook fan pages, so welcome to check those out if you wish to. Steve's Wrestling Ramble, you just search on Facebook if you are on there. Even if you're not on Facebook, I think you're still able to go to fan pages. I don't have it as like a private page or something like that, or a private fan page. Anybody can join it, anybody can see worldwide of those fan pages. My football podcast, NFL, and wrestling. So Steve's Wrestling Ramble, search on Facebook. And I had my last two Raw reviews and SmackDown reviews for the past 2 weeks heading into Extreme Rules over there. Now, out of Extreme Rules, now heading on the road to SummerSlam, the glorious, fabulous, awesome, and bliss-tastic road to SummerSlam. Now I'm going to be pumped through these Raws and SmackDown Lives. Though, like I said, to me, it seems like the past couple of months with Monday Night Raw specifically being a 3-hour show, you have an opening segment, whether it's a match or a promo, whatever it is, be great. And then you have the end of the show, the main event, as it's called, the end of the show, the main event, whatever match that is or promo segment being great or good as well, at least solid to me. And then in between, you just have stuff. Some filler, some whimsical nonsense, some good wrestling. I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's just whatever. It's like you care about the beginning and end of the show, but you forget about the middle of the show. Because there are points in this Monday Night Raw that if I didn't have to, quote unquote, because I really don't ever have to do these Raw reviews, but I want to do these for my fans and for my subscribers and for myself, and enjoying WWE. I've been a WWE fan most of my life, as I have rambled off in the past. Been a fan since the year of 1992, 94, whenever I was young. Maybe I don't know exactly what year it was, but age 4 to 6 when I started watching WWE casually. And as the years went on, grew to like it more and more. I think it was 1997 where I truly got into it. As a hardcore fan, and otherwise getting T-shirts and other stuff like that. Now you don't have to get, you don't have to get merchandise to be a fan of stuff. But I'm just saying for myself at that point. But anyways, being a fan for so long and wanting WWE to be good, and me being the positive person I am, and giving WWE a chance. I even talked about it in the review episode this last week, Thursday, on the Ramble, Steve's Wrestling Ramble, the podcast associated with these reviews of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. I do accordingly. That I do keep wanting to give WWE a chance. I want to believe that they're not as heartless or less caring than some other fans think of booking their shows and of treating their talent and this and that. I want to believe and know that it's different and better. Now, am I blind to politics and blind to things that happen backstage? No, because that's even happened in the military, of politics and of groups of people and this and that and other sort of things that really you get in any business or any place you work or do. It's like high school never leaves you in that respect, with cliques and otherwise in your profession. Point being is that's everywhere. So I'm not blind to the fact that that's the case in WWE. But I do want to say that for Raw, for SmackDown, for the shows now heading into SummerSlam, and it was great to have Raunchy Mikey on the Ramble last week, and hopefully he'll be able to join us for SummerSlam prediction, because I think this is the best time of year, secondary to WrestleMania time and season, to be watching WWE. I believe WWE gives it more of an effort and caring and trying, booking these shows and having great matches and storylines, and then payoff to the SummerSlam and WrestleMania. These 2 times of the year are the best. Though I also hope that with other pay-per-views, whether B-level and otherwise, that WWE gives a little bit more effort and caring. And yes, I know I'm raising my voice, but I'm just showing my passion of what I'm believing. Maybe not in the way that others, Kyron Chase, JD from NY, and others show their passion of being angry or are upset, and they have the right to be upset on whatever they want to be upset with. I'm not going to stop them from being upset. I'm not going to tell them they can't be upset if they're not, they have the right to be upset. I'm just going to try to state on my side why I think that you don't need to be upset. But if you're still going to, then that's your business, and I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for doing so. I'm never going to be that person. It's like with me and Kyron, with our conversation about Asuka and Carmella, we're great friends. We're like brothers. In a sense, you're in a wrestling family. But that doesn't mean he's going to change my mind or I'm going to change his mind. We are agreeing to disagree on the context and communication that we have about Asuka and Carmella. Well, I don't think Asuka's buried. She's going to be fine. She'll turn heel sometime, and maybe she will win a championship. Though I have stated myself that I don't think Asuka will be winning women's championship while in WWE. And again, that's not because she's not deserving, but just because of the handful of women that are before her and those that are coming up in NXT now that I think have better reason to do so. I want to give a shout out specifically to my buddy, to my bro, Kyron Chase. Follow him on Twitter at @SplashBroKyron. And he was tweeting something from, or retweeting and sharing with the group here in our mega tweet. And you can follow me at WWE_podcast, by the way. And he's sharing to us all a tweet from JD at JD from NY206. Everybody can follow him there. Follow him on YouTube, JD from NY. I'm sure most of you already know who he is. And his tweet is, and I quote from JD's Twitter account, if this company, sorry, I'm looking at my phone as I read this, just so you know. If this company thinks NYC will treat the situation any better than New Orleans, they must be the dumbest fucking idiots in the industry. #Raw. Then they want to know why this show has the lowest ratings in its history with the crying emoji, or laughing so hard he's crying emoji. I think that's what it is. Or whatever. That kind of, laughing emoji with the tears. All right, again, respect his opinion, respect Kyron for agreeing 100% with JD's opinion. But for me, myself as a fan, again, JD's talking about the company. If the company thinks NYC will treat the situation better than New Orleans, they must be dumb. No, they're actually smart. And the reason I think, again, opinion-based, everybody has one, and mine is that I think the company is banging on the fact that people are going to trash it. And people are going to be booing and doing all this other crap. Reaction based. It's 2018, the era of Twitter and social media, Snapchat and otherwise. More so Twitter and Instagram, but still Snapchat, Facebook, and whatever else where people can share their opinions that they all deserve to have. So banking on this and using this, kind of using your strong feelings against you, being so passionate negatively toward this, what's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, using it in the storyline, using it in the weeks to come, heading into SummerSlam. Just think of the segments and promos, mostly probably with Roman Reigns by himself, because Brock Lesnar doesn't want to show up on a show, but that's secondary to this argument. But just think of the promos done by Roman Reigns next week with Brock Lesnar talking about some of the stuff. Talking about some of the stuff of what fans think and this and that, and bringing up themselves or the writers, writing it for them, scripted television, and fans being agreeing or disagreeing or seeing through the BS, whatever. It's your opinion. But I think it's beneficial because they can use that in the storylines and then leading up to SummerSlam, which then when they have the match at SummerSlam, whether it's the main event or not, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns is going to sell out that show, even though SummerSlam should be able to sell the show on its own, but it can't. SummerSlam, to me, is not as good as it used to be. And that's why I've said not only is Survivor Series been a steaming piling of grade A monkey crap, so has SummerSlam in the past couple of years. And that's why I've said Money in the Bank is better than Survivor Series. Now, I haven't gone as far as saying it's better than SummerSlam, but it's getting closer. Because to me, at least with Money in the Bank, and with that pay-per-view and its growth from its infancy from a long time ago when Jericho had the idea for the concept in its own right when it debuted at WrestleMania years ago, that Money in the Bank has been improving to be a better quality pay-per-view than Survivor Series. And almost to the point where it's bigger and better than SummerSlam. Now, there's my strong argument. shared in a different tone than if someone was giving a stern argument, like, from JD's channel or other channels. Maybe I need to share my arguments, whether people think I'm crazy or not, in a roaring mood, and maybe then they'll agree. But I don't want to be that, because that'd be fake, and people would see through that anyways, because I'm not that type of person. They would see it's more of an act than an actual Steve. And I am going to be me, true to myself. Whether you think I'm monotone or not showing that passion like I should. I show the passion my way, you show your passion your way. I respect you, respect me, hopefully. But let's get to actually Raw. That's the idea of this. Because I've been rambling about other things. I guess that's what I do with my podcast being Steve Wrestling Ramble. But Monday Night Raw starting off with Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon, actually out there as well. So not only are you going to have Stephanie McMahon, you have Triple H, and then Vince McMahon, somewhat scheduled announced to be part of this historic announcement that Stephanie McMahon herself is going to make. And in the end, after 15 minutes of stuff, Stephanie McMahon announces that on October 28th, here in the year of 2018, that there will be a first ever women's only pay-per-view event. And I did also, quote unquote, break this news on Snapchat to other people that maybe were not watching Raw. Whether or not most of my friends on Snapchat actually are wrestling fans, but hey, that's what I do with my business. Talking wrestling, so I share it on all my platforms of media. So, anyways, October 28th, 2018, WWE's women's only pay-per-view event, and it will be called Evolution. Now, let me say that in a clearer voice. Evolution. Evolution is going to be the name of the event. You're going to have the Raw Women's Championship being defended, the SmackDown Live Women's Championship being defended, the NXT Women's Championship being defended, and the finals of the second annual Mae Young Classic event of awesomeness will be, and that match will happen at the pay-per-view, along with, I'm sure, other matches, maybe the introduction of a women's tag team title, a big card title. Those things haven't been announced yet, but as much as I thought that those two were both going to be announced together tonight, I have a feeling at least for tag team titles will be announced in the coming weeks or in the coming months, so they can space this out, right? You have a big epic announcement here, and then maybe a month later, because it's happening in October. So now we have July, end of July, all of August, all of September, and most of October, of course. You can have the next announcement being July, all August, late August, early September, at a Monday Night Raw, being the next big announcement, Stephanie McMahon returns or whatever, being the next epic announcement having to do with the women's only pay-per-view event, historic first ever thing, and announced then that you're going to have tag team titles for the women's division. If you are watching live, I also want to say this, as I'm always thinking and interrupting myself. If you are watching live, let me know in the chat. I'll try to get over there if I can get to the chat. Welcome to let me know on Twitter at WWE Podcast that you're watching, and I'll make sure to get myself over to the chat. But anyways, and also if you're watching, thumbs up if you're enjoying this Raw review. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be awesome and dynamite. I look forward to seeing the women superstars of the past, those of the present, those of the future. Speaking of the future, women superstars in WWE in the main roster, Nikki Cross was on the stage tonight, and that was kind of interesting. And she was still all crazy in her full character mode, in a situation that was lighthearted and half kayfabe, half or more reality than kayfabe sort of thing, So superstars were more relaxed, as you can tell. Especially after the announcement was made, everybody's hugging there, and then an hour later, you have that one-on-one contest with Mickie James going one-on-one. Cat lady there, Natalia. So, but anyways, like I said, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to October 28th. It's going to be a great pay-per-view event. Heck, you know how I've been live reacting to pretty much women's title matches for the past months? First, it was because of when it was Carmella going to cash in or not, after they had the first ever women's Money in the Bank. And, each and every pay-per-view was SmackDown based, and then, Backlash. Now being co-branded and moving forward to WrestleMania, I was, watching and doing all that stuff, live reacting to that. So maybe I'll actually have a full live reaction to the whole women's event. since like I have been live reacting to most women's stuff, and I even had a video, one of my earlier videos on my channel. You're welcome to check it out, and that quality is unfortunately more poorer than even this with this laptop. But back when I was using my Kindle Fire at the time, actually uploading videos, I know, amazing. When I was talking about the women's division, it was about the evolution or the infancy stages of that, or whatever I was talking about the women's division at that time. Welcome to hear my thoughts then, to what I'm talking about now with that. But I might do a full show reaction. I haven't really done a full pay-per-view reaction since an NXT show I did once with Blue X Demon X. I was live reacting to an NXT Takeover show with him. So maybe I'll do it for the first ever women's pay-per-view event, because I certainly have been live reacting to women's matches. Maybe not every single month with pay-per-views, but a lot over the past year at least, since the first ever women's Money in the Bank happened. So, but yeah, that was the start of Raw. Not too much really else to really talk about with the middle of the show. I mean, I could go through every single thing, but I might should wait till Thursday for the podcast to do so about that, with my team being there, and otherwise get their thoughts on the historic announcement, as we're already getting those shared on Twitter. But let's go right away to the main event, since I've already been rambling about other things. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Winner faces Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam, and in the end, Roman Reigns does get the win. So there was that moment when Bobby actually hit the spear on Reigns, and you think, oh, we have the same finish, clean finish as we had at Extreme Rules so long ago. Then you quickly remember, no, it probably won't be happening because 50-50 booking. That's how it is in WWE. So Roman Reigns get the win. He's the known truly crowned number one contender. Will be facing Brock. I still think it's going to be a fatal four-way. You're going to have Brock Lesnar, the champion, defending against Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley, and cashing in Braun Strowman. Now, there is still that worry from WWE Universe that Brock actually might retain and hold it to summer or to WrestleMania, as I brought up during the review of the show with my team and guest this past week on the Ramble, Secrets and Ramble. I just have a funny feeling that could go the direction they want to go and try to garner more sympathy for Roman Reigns, and then you have Roman Reigns win the championship at WrestleMania. I just think the reaction there, let alone the reaction of people when they're here at SummerSlam. Would fans be more vitriol if he wins it at WrestleMania and Brock holding it that super long, longer than most want? Again, WWE using the fans' anger almost against them in a way. That kind of psychological battle you use in war and otherwise. Now, this isn't that kind of serious thing, but WWE and shows and have done in the past in doing so. So they could try to have that happen, or not try to have it happen, but try to garner more favor and sympathy to Reigns. Have Brock retain the title at SummerSlam. Brock retaining it by pinning Reigns even. You could even have that. Strowman's cash in technically unsuccessful. And Brock retaining the title. You have Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and WrestleMania. How they could do that. And you have Reigns finally do what he was supposed to do last year with the title of WrestleMania. Now, hopefully it won't be. Hopefully it'll be either him or Reigns or Strowman winning the championship at SummerSlam. But I'm on the thinking, and the degree of thinking that Braun Strowman, being the monster that he is kind of a superstar that doesn't need to have championship reigns. I kind of was the same way thinking about that with Bray Wyatt. And as I saw more and more each and every week, I kind of got old of his character. Got old to me. But he is a former WWE champ. Maybe Braun Strowman the title for at least a short time, and him actually, forever to be. And that can't ever be taken away from him if it happens. Former champion, the Universal Champion, if he does successfully cash in and win the title at SummerSlam. I'm trying to think what else really noteworthy to talk about on Monday Night Raw. Again, not too much else actually noteworthy to discuss. Though again, as I usually do, I would go through every little thing, but I'm not really in the mood to do that, to be quite honest. The two biggest things to talk about being the start of the show and the end. And I want to also save a little for other talk and other things to be talked about on Thursday with Steve's Wrestling Ramble, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, here on this channel. But I'm trying to think of Bailey Sasha Banks. Let's talk about that. That's being the number 3 hottest thing to talk about. Because a lot of people think HLH is something going to happen, or a romantic storyline with Bailey and Sasha Banks. No. Just them friendships being back together, and then one will turn on the other. I still think it should be Bailey, Sasha Banks, because I think Bailey deserves to try to see, or WWE to find out how Bailey would be as a heel. I'm sure Bailey herself would want to explore that side of her with the character of Bailey as a heel. Change of music, change of look. I was going to say costume, but look, attire, and otherwise. Maybe even changing a little bit of moveset, to be quite honest. And just being a heel character. I think she would be pretty dang good. I think she would. I think she would take that ball and run with it. We already know Sasha Banks is a good heel. And I understand why my friends and others in the WWE universe think that Sasha Banks should be the one to turn heel on Bailey. I get it. But to me individually, I think it would be best and behoove WWE to have Bailey be the one to turn heel, and maybe even have another moment like she did weeks ago with attacking Sasha Banks, and actually this time meeting, turning heel, setting up an actual match at maybe the first ever women's pay-per-view event at Evolution. Or they have that turn happen at Evolution. You have the announcement of women's tag team titles that are going to go all cross-brand, Raw, SmackDown, maybe even NXT included. I don't know how that would really work with NXT being part of it, but it would be cool to have them involved in it. Excuse me. We're going to have NXT involved with the first ever women's pay-per-view event. Why not have them also involved with the tag team title belts? And if we're going to have a tournament, just think about this. In a visual way, in a show way, in a production way, you have tag team titles for the women's division now. Whenever that's announced, whether it's announced in late August, mid-September, whenever it's announced before the pay-per-view event, because it has to be announced early if there's going to be a tournament, which there should be. And if that's going to be the case, you have a tournament on NXT, SmackDown, and Raw. Tag team tournament with the women's division. Yeah, right. If you want to, have NXT part of it, and you just have all the women together, total as just as one. So in that thinking and in that logic in my head would say that you have those three, and those three winners would be then have a triple threat match, a tag team triple threat match at Evolution to crown the inaugural WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Now, will they have a mid-card title belt like the IC or Intercontinental Championship for the men? For the women? Maybe that would be a little bit too much for the women's division. Because just think how much of it's in the herd with, or I don't mean to be whatever about saying that way, but just having a tag team division, having tag team titles, and having the women there doing battle there. You still have your Raw and SmackDown women's champions specifically for the shows. If you're going to put all women together for the first ever women's event Evolution in October 28th, WWE Network, pay-per-view event, first ever women's, then why not put the women together? As I was saying back before when the idea was coming out there for having a brand extension again, I was thinking, and I'm sure I said on a podcast around that time, I would have to do my own research to check, but I know I talked about the tag team division and women's division being all together and on one show. Now, I did say still on one show, but all together. I think I said for the women's division to be on Raw brand and the tag team division on SmackDown brand, but all together there. But here, if you just encapsulate them all together in just one thing, then you either A, have a women's only show, which then talk about hurting Monday Night Raw 3 hours. What are you doing there without any women's segments at all? But either you have a women's only show, like now we have a 205 Live, where it used to be the cruiserweights were part of Raw and also 205 Live. Now they're just simply 205 Live, which I love individually, personally. But with the women, you either have the women's only show, along with after having your women's only first ever women's only pay-per-view event, Evolution, but you combine the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships for one Women's Championship for all. And if you think you have, and if you do have a women's only show, then you take all the women you have signed, because you do have a good crop of women total on your roster, a good amount numbers wise and athleticism and quality superstars on your WWE roster in the women's division to be able to run a functioning 1 hour, I would still say 1 hour show, but still 1 hour show for women's only show. So working for the Cruiserweight division, 205 Live, I've certainly enjoyed it. It certainly has improved from its infancy, if I can even say that word right. So why not do the same with the women's division? Just a thought I wanted to share. Again, you're welcome to reach out to me on Twitter at WWE_podcast and share your thoughts on everything I shared here tonight. I was unable to get into the chat, but yeah, pretty much the two things I did want to talk about being the historic announcement made by Stephanie McMahon, along with Triple H and Vince McMahon, regarding the women's division, and then the main event, Roman Reigns defeating Bobby Lashley, becoming the number one contender officially, and will face, as of right now, 1-on-1 Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam for the Universal Championship. And next week on Raw, Brock will actually be on the show with Paul Heyman, I'm sure, in tow, with his Universal Championship over his shoulder, and have a stare-down interaction, whatever it's going to be, with Roman Reigns. Maybe we'll even have Braun cash in on Raw. Who knows? Probably not. Maybe a Braun saying he's going, already announcing he's going to cash in at the pay-per-view, because Braun being a face, that's more of a face cash or briefcase holder is, and would do. Now, also, unfortunately, most of the face superstars, briefcase holders, Mr. Money in the Banks, are unsuccessful in their cash. Will Braun Strowman be another one like that? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But anyways, that's the Monday Night Raw review. Wanted to share at least those two big items. The rest of Raw, like I said, was all right. So Sasha Banks Bailey thing, actually, it's kind of cute watching them interact like that. I mean, as a straight male, why not, right? Not with a lesbian storyline, especially in the PG era. It's not going to be too much in that sense, I guess. But I don't think it's going to be a romantic thing. It's going to be them tag team, women's tag team division, them winning the tag team titles, women's tag team titles at the historic event, Evolution, October 28th. So that probably is what's in the card to Sasha Banks and Bailey, and they're just going to continue to tease, or even just right now, all hands off deck, scrap it for now of any actual feud one-on-one you're going to have, and hold it off to maybe Royal Rumble or something like that, a pay-per-view there down the road. But yeah, this is the Raw review. Hope you all enjoyed. Welcome to share what you thought in the comment section below when the video is posted to the channel, or let me know on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and otherwise. You can follow me on Twitter at WWE_podcast, on Instagram and Snapchat at StBK_06. And also on Twitter, you can follow me on my personal one at Army_strong_06. Hope you all did enjoy it, Raw. And for those that are new, if you do follow me on Twitter, new followers, check out my my Raw Insta poll. I do have that every week for Raw and SmackDown. What you guys think of the show? And I have four, so the same four options. Did you think it was great? Do you think it was good? Do you think it was okay? Or do you think it was terrible? You guys can vote there, retweet it to share with your followers, your fans, your friends, and otherwise. I thank you for doing that if you do. And I thank you for watching this Raw review. I'll see you guys all tomorrow night after SmackDown Live, so a little past 9 p.m. Central. I look forward to speak with you at that time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your day tomorrow. And above all else, as always, take care.